First of all, thank you so much for chatting with me today. And I wanted to start off by saying congrats on getting married.
Thank
How
you.
is married life treating you both? I feel like this must be so exciting for you.
Yeah, it has been just so amazing. There's just more joy than I could have ever imagined. And like the hard things that we've faced together have just brought us closer together. I don't want to say it in a way that sounds like everything's perfect, even though sometimes it feels like it, but it isn't. But like every obstacle that we've had to face, every challenge, every just circumstance we've run into has only, brought us closer and stronger together. And that's the point, is facing it together and getting through it together. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's been beautiful. Like just this morning, we were like, how, I think we've said this a million times, but like, how is this real? Like, how is marriage this fulfilling and fun and
With you.
joyful
Like,
with you?
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so we're loving it, to say the least.
But has anything in your relationship changed or grown since tying the knot?
Oh, it's grown exponentially.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that has grown is our love for each other. Like, cheese
Yeah.
balls here, but
She's both.
but honestly, like every few days, it's like, how does this keep growing? Like,
Yeah. I think like a big part was just like how much we cared for each other. Like we were never like we were selfish in like the beginning of just like,
well,
okay, like there's certain things that I definitely like want out of this and you want out of this is that sort of stuff. But like we navigated that and realized how much that just doesn't work. Like
yeah.
we were like, okay, we have to actually care for one another first in all of this.
I think a lot of like we didn't realize. I didn't realize that I was like pretty selfish going into marriage, and then that kind of just came up in the first few months. Like, oh, I'm actually pretty selfish, and this needs to change. So we definitely grown in that too.
Yeah. So I think the care for one another and constantly having that and like wanting the best for one another has really helped us just navigate almost anything with like ease in a sense, but it's not always easy. But it's just like we come at it together, not necessarily like, oh, I have to win and you have to
Yeah.
suffer or whatever. It's like, nope, we can go through this together and
Yeah.
we can make decisions and go through all that
Yeah.
Mhm.
together. So
Yeah, there's no winning or losing in a disagreement. It's together coming out on the other side. And yeah, one thing that I just love about Zach so much is there we have like not once like gone to bed with anything unresolved, or like just left the room, like left the house or something. Like there have been times where it's like just been tense, and like normally you probably leave the room or leave the house, and it's like, no, we choose to
stay in the moment,
stay in the moment,
talk about it,
to
figure it out.
resolve it, and to um understand the other person. I think that's the biggest part, is understanding the other person and not just making your point but hearing theirs. So anyways, it's been beautiful and grown in so many ways.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. And I know that on the show that you both talked about how you were saving your first kiss for your wedding day. And we're probably going to get to see that play out on the show. But can you talk
Mhm.
me through how that moment was for both of you? How were you feeling in that super special moment that you'd been saving for your wedding day?
It was exhilarating. Like the anticipation really came to an all-time high at that point, and it was also just like, wow, like we worked hard to lead up to this moment, and we like really this is a way that we respected and cared for each other more than anything. And this is a decision that we both made. Like we had like to clear it out a little bit. We had our first kiss in previous relationships, so this wasn't like our first kiss. And so, I think knowing that and then deciding to save it for each other, I think made it very special in a lot of ways of just like, oh, like you are just a different kind of person in terms of, you know, how amazing you are as a person that like I want to care for you in this and I want to really pursue you in this way. And then when we kissed, it was great. She was quick. She says I was smiling, but I just didn't think I had the chance to pucker up, and so
She was smiling too.
she was like too quick on the lips. But no, we got plenty of practice in, and she's a great kisser, and
You're
so
right.
so
Well, we also saw on the show that you proposed to Lydia in like a very special way, very heartfelt. Can you talk me what was going through both of your heads in that moment? I feel like that took a lot of preparation on your part, Zach.
Absolutely. I mean, through the week she felt like how much I wasn't able to talk to her because of all the phone calls I was making, like making
Yeah.
sure everything was in place and making sure everyone that she cared about was there and just making sure all the plans were in motion. And yeah, I think I was like talking and navigating about 20, 30 people to make this proposal happen. And it was like it was stressful, but it was also like I wouldn't do this any other way because this is how much I care for her and this is a way I can show it. Um and to keep it a surprise too was definitely like
Insane.
awesome, but also stressful because I'm like, you're telling me stuff that may ruin it, but I can't tell you and all that sort of stuff. So but it was great and it was just like definitely very special. I think like leading up to it, yeah, I mean there was some stuff that came against me in it, but I knew what I was there for and I knew what my goal was by the end of the day. And so, you know, as it got closer and closer, my joy just continued to grow. And then as soon as I saw the car pulling up in the distance, I had nothing but joy. I had nothing but this just overwhelming excitement for what was about to happen. And like I was smiling from ear to ear. I don't think I stopped smiling like that whole time.
The
And
rest of the day.
it was just very precious for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, I mean, when I got there, I don't, looking back, it's so obvious. I don't know how I didn't know that he was proposing. You know, the fact that like the previous week there was like 15 times that he was like, I'll call you back. I gotta make a call real quick. Or I gotta go. I'll call you back. Um, but yeah, I mean the moment when I got there, what like I knew that's when I knew he was gonna propose. And
Mhm.
there was no other reason I was gonna be there. Um and but like what really just got me was seeing everyone that he chose to be there.
Mhm.
Like my pastor and his wife, when I saw them, I just cried because I was like, I wouldn't have like asked for them to be my proposal, but now thinking about it, I couldn't imagine with it without them there. And so like just knowing that Zach had just listened to me and knew me and based off of that knew which friends to choose um was beautiful because it just goes to show how well he knows me. He didn't have to ask like who would you want your proposal? He just knew me and knew who I'd want on my proposal. So
Yeah.
and then I'm still just like still and just I can't get it out of my head the feeling of like I was so weak. I was trying to run to Zach, but I physically couldn't. Like, you know those dreams where like you're
Mhm.
trying to run and you're not going anywhere?
Yep.
That's how I
Yep.
felt. Like I was trying to run and I couldn't.
Yeah, and
It
I
was
was in my
just
head, I'm like, come on, get in my arms, please. No,
Well,
it
I
was
think it went like it came across very well. It seemed very well thought out. I was like very impressed with that whole proposal. We did see after the proposal though, we saw Ethan and Micah, they were grilling you a bit, Zach. What was that experience like? I feel like you handled that whole thing very maturely.
yeah, I mean I went into all of this knowing that the brothers would be protective, knowing the short timeline and everything. So, you know, my expectations weren't really high in terms of like, oh, like they're gonna treat me like I'm their brother. Like, yeah, I did not necessarily expect that. I knew that I was gonna have some opposition and, you know, reacting to it is probably more of what they wanted, and that's not my MO. Like I don't react to frustration. I just call it as it is, call it the truth. And um, you know, I'm living a life that I want to be the best I can for Lydia. And, you know, if they don't see that, then that's their problem. And so um and yeah, I think like I totally understand like what you know how they reacted because of their protection over Lydia. She's a very sweet person, and they want to protect that. And so,
They must really love you because they went overboard.
I was gonna ask
um,
Lydia, what was your reaction when I know that you like went through it and like lived it, but what was your reaction watching that back?
Well, I didn't watch it.
Okay, okay,
No, Zach told me, and that was all I needed to hear.
okay.
Yeah, I was frustrated with them to say the least, but I was also like, whatever, like we're gonna get through this, and in a few months, like that's not gonna
Yeah.
be, it's not gonna be a big deal because we'll talk through it with them, and you know
Hmm.
We have our goals,
so
and
Yep.
we're not going to let them take us off of our path. So
Have
so
things
yeah.
have things improved with your like friendships with the brothers and like since getting married and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. We've yeah, there's been reconciliation with pretty much all of them.
That's good.
Um and yeah, the biggest one was Ethan a few weeks ago, and that was really beautiful. He really sincerely apologized, and for a lot of things, and it was really heartfelt and really sweet,
yeah,
and we had him over for a game day the other day. So it was, hanging out and working with him, having fun with him, and growing that relationship. And he said he now sees, just with more time, he really sees that Zach is a hard worker, and that he truly does love and care and tend to me, and he sees I'm happy, and that's all that matters. So
Well, that's great. I feel like positive steps are being made, and that's great to hear. I also I saw online like a lot of fans were showing you both so much support after all of that aired. They
yeah.
were really like rallying behind you both to like show support for your relationship. What was it like seeing that reaction from the fans?
yeah, it was definitely just with the whole show airing, like we anticipated for the worst. We just prepared ourselves for the worst, and it was a lot better than we prepared for.
I've been the worst.
Honestly, though, so like a part of me was like really happy to see how, Zach's character just really shone through, and how people could like see the effort he put in, and just how much he cared, and how just grounded he is in who he is and all the things. But at the same time, like there were a lot of people who were going overboard, like telling me that I need to get away from my family and things like that. I'm like, you guys know it's not like that. Like we're on good terms.
Yeah, it's not that dramatic.
And it's
And
not that dramatic. So like yes, that there were several aspects that, shouldn't have happened. Um, but it was nothing that, couldn't be talked about or, recovered from. So there was a lot of support that was definitely appreciated, but there were a few people who were a little too supportive. It's like, okay, well, no, we're not taking that, not going that dramatic, but I get your point. So it was sweet though.
Well, on a happy note, in the most recent episode, Lydia, we see you go wedding dress shopping. When you found the perfect dress, how did you know that it was the perfect dress for you?
Um, when yeah, trying on the dress, like there were other dresses that I tried on that I loved, that fit, beautifully, felt great, but imagining me walking down the aisle in it at the farm, it wasn't the dress.
Mhm.
But when I stepped into my dress, it was like, yes, this is the one for, for this location, this day. Just the fit, the flow. It had just enough sparkle, but not too much. It had, just it was really, really flowy. I could adjust the train myself
Oh, that's
without, like,
awesome.
just with the help of a little wind, I could adjust the train. So I like loved that. So yeah.
And
we
Zach,
just
what
had
was your reaction to seeing her when you first saw her? I know that's like a big moment in her wedding dress. What was your reaction?
yeah. Well, we had a first look, and it was very. I mean, it's so special. I think like she was constantly asking me before, like, "What do you like in a wedding dress?" and this sort of stuff. I'm like,
Like my wedding
I
dress.
don't just go around looking at wedding dresses to see what I like. Like I'm not that's not it. And so yeah, she was just like a little nervous about it. And then when she finally when I got to see it, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, like this is perfect." Like just very it was simple, but there was some flair to it at the same time, and it just really that just was perfect for her and who she is, and also just like the things that we were gonna do that day of just like dancing and having a lot of fun around the farm. Like it was perfect.
And
It
like,
wasn't too much, and it was also just like she loved it so much. She could not stop spinning around in it with all the things. It was great.
and right after the reception, we ran into the woods to kind of, have our own time to
Yeah, like, have a photo shoot
photo shoot and
and all
everything.
that stuff.
So it's like, yeah, you can't run through the woods in any dress, but I could in that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It was also revealed that Zach, you were going to be moving to be with Lydia. How did you come up with that decision? I know originally, Lydia, you were planning on moving to be with Zach.
Yeah, that was a really hard decision for both of us. We went back and forth for a long time. Colorado was kind of just our first assumption because it was beautiful. We both loved it. We love the mountains. We love adventure. And so we were just like, yeah, Colorado it is. And then as it got closer and I like began mourning, like leaving and all the things, and we started thinking about it more, and it was just like, yeah, we were like, all right, let's take like a week and really consider the pros and cons, pray about it, and just you know, set the things aside to see like what truly is best for us in the moment. And yeah, we just I just felt in my spirit that like I was called here to Tallahassee at the moment. Um and on top of that, like I couldn't imagine leaving my church right now or my sisters because they're, you know, I've poured into them so much and just been a big sister slash like a mom at some points, you know, and my mom was going through a lot. So just leaving them when they're still, you know, young teenagers and 12 would just be really hard for me. And Zach saw that and he was like, okay, I can make the sacrifice. But it was helpful for me to have gone through that period of like knowing a smidgen of what it felt like leaving everything. So then when Zach, you know, went through that and he left everything, came here, I could, you know, understand and sympathize with him because it was going to be hard for us either way. So
Yeah.
I just am very appreciative that he was willing to make that sacrifice.
Well, looking to the future, what's next for you all as a married couple in this next chapter of your life?
Yeah, I mean, we're going on a trip, and we're kind of seeing a bunch of family and friends before holidays, and just gonna start working towards a house. Really, we really want to get in a house, and yeah, I think like I don't think Tallahassee is necessarily our forever, but we think it's a good starting place in terms of just like affordability and getting, you know, experience in different things. And, you know, maybe we won't buy a house here, but we do want to save for a house, period. So, wherever that is, I think that's kind of our next step. And we're excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And children, of course.
Of course, children, can't forget that. But we're still on track for, you know, waiting at least a year from when we got married. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that, you know, can't predict those types of things.